Man, Steelers fans are in an uproar right now. There are rumors that Mike Tomlin and Art Rooney II might be planning something unexpected, something no one expected so soon. At the same time, another insider claims that a veteran NFL coach is eyeing a fresh start, and Tomlin's name is suddenly at the center of this rumor. And to make matters worse, the Steelers just dropped 2 key starters shortly before the decisive matchup against Buffalo, and the first one is already causing chaos. Alright, let's talk about what's becoming the loudest storyline in Pittsburgh right now. The future of Mike Tomlin. And listen, this thing is getting real. Steelers fans are restless, fed up, tired of the same movie playing every year. Everybody knows the man has never had a losing season. That stat gets thrown around like confetti. But what's hitting harder is the playoff drought. No postseason wins since 2016. That's almost a decade in Steelers years. That's like dog years for this franchise. Then you mix in the Week 12 loss to the Bears, and suddenly the patience level around the city is thinner than a kicker's face mask. The defense, the most expensive one in the entire league, is putting up bottom tier numbers. Deadly combo. People are asking, why are we paying premium prices for bargain bin production? And here's the twist. Even though Tomlin got that extension in the 2024 offseason, locking him in through 2027, there might actually be a way for the Steelers to move on without swallowing those last 2 guaranteed years. Normally, head coaching deals are fully guaranteed. Rooney would have to pay Tomlin to coach somewhere else, or to sit at home watching Red Zone in sweatpants. But according to Post-Gazette insider Ray Fittipaldo, there might be a creative solution. During a fan chat, someone asked if a breakup could realistically happen. Fittipaldo basically said, look, I don't see the Steelers eating those last 2 years, but maybe, there's a middle ground where both sides just mutually decide to call it quits. A mutual parting changes everything. No ugly firing, no massive checks being mailed out. Tomlin gets his next job, because let's be honest, he'd get snapped up in 5 minutes, and the Steelers aren't stuck paying millions for a coach who isn't even in the building. The big question is, would Tomlin even want to stay if this season ends badly? There's growing belief that he might be just as ready for a fresh start as the organization is, and that's where things get really interesting, because right now, the pressure is turning into smoke. Pittsburgh led the AFC North by 3 games and somehow found itself slipping out of the playoff picture. If they miss the postseason after being in that position, Rooney's gonna have to look in the mirror and have the uncomfortable conversation he never thought he'd need to have. Plus, the fan base is losing patience fast. And in Pittsburgh, when the fan base turns, ownership eventually listens. The Tomlin never has a losing season protection shield is wearing thin, and December could be the month everything breaks. If Tomlin refuses a pay cut or won't agree to a mutual separation, things get messy. But if both sides feel the relationship has run its course, the Steelers could finally hit the reset button without setting their bank account on fire. Either way, 2025 is shaping up to be the season that decides everything. Tomlin's had an incredible career, absolute Hall of Fame resume, but even great coaches lose their fastball. And right now, it feels like we're watching the final chapters of a 2-decade era inch toward a crossroads Steelers fans weren't ready to face. And if you think that situation already sounds wild, the next update makes everything even crazier. And this one just dropped. So here's where the plot really thickens. While Steelers fans are debating whether Tomlin should stick around, an NFL insider just threw gasoline on the conversation. Josina Anderson dropped a report saying a longtime NFL head coach is thinking about wanting a change of scenery, and the whole league immediately started connecting dots. Now, here's why this matters to Pittsburgh. Tomlin is literally the longest tenured coach in the NFL now that Belichick and Peyton are gone. If there's one name that fits the description perfectly, it's his. And the part that's making the fan base perk up is simple. Anderson claims this coach has already told people he's considering it. Not just thinking quietly, actually telling folks. The Steelers, as everybody knows, basically never fire head coaches. That's just not how this franchise operates. Since 1969, they've had only 3 guys run the team. That's insane. Most franchises cycle through 3 coaches in like 5 years. But that tradition of loyalty is also why the fan base has been stuck in this weird limbo. People have been begging for change for years, saying the vibe around the team is stale, the scheme isn't evolving, and the playoff drought is embarrassing for a franchise that measures itself by Lombardis. But here's the twist. If Tomlin himself wants out, that solves everything. No awkward firing, no ugly press conference, no dramatic Pittsburgh meltdown. It becomes clean, mutual. And honestly, the fan base might even clap him out with respect. Now, Anderson didn't drop a name. She left the clue wide open. Longtime coach, so the guessing game kicked in immediately. Could it be John Harbaugh? Probably not. He's got a franchise quarterback and zero reason to walk away. Andy Reid? No shot. Sean McDermott? Doubt it. Zach Taylor with Joe Burrow? Come on. Then the conversation shifts to Matt LaFleur. His quarterback situation is messy. Jordan Love hasn't progressed the way the Packers hoped. The offense is out of sync. Maybe he's frustrated. It's possible. Then you get Kevin Stefanski, a good coach stuck in an organization that often trips over its own feet. Or Pete Carroll, who just took over the Raiders but has been coaching forever and might be exhausted with Vegas already. But here's the thing everyone keeps circling back to. None of those situations make more sense than Tomlin. He checks every box: tenure, playoff frustration, fan pressure, internal stagnation, and a franchise that would never fire him but might happily accept a mutual exit. And honestly, this might be the first time it feels real. Steelers fans have been shouting into the void for years, saying the team needs a reset. If Tomlin himself is exploring new challenges, they might finally get that reset without the Steelers breaking their own long-standing tradition of loyalty. And if all that wasn't enough drama, the next update hits the field directly, and it's the one that could change Sunday's entire matchup. Just when the Steelers needed all hands on deck, the injury report threw a punch straight to the gut. Pittsburgh is fighting to climb back into the playoff picture, and with the Bills sitting just one game ahead, this Week 13 showdown is basically a must-win. But Mike Tomlin stepped up on his Tuesday presser and dropped the worst kind of news. Two key starters are officially out. First name he mentioned, Broderick Jones. The young left tackle, who's been one of the few bright spots as the season has gone on, is dealing with a neck injury. And when you hear neck injury in the NFL, your stomach drops. There's no quick fix for that. No simple timeline. Tomlin made it pretty clear. Jones is out this week, and that's all they can say for now. Not great when you're facing a Buffalo defense that loves sending pressure. Then came Derek Harmon, the quietly steady rookie who's been holding down the interior run defense. Knee injury. Finished the game, but the medical staff shut him down for the week. Again, terrible timing. Harmon isn't flashy, but he does the dirty work. Losing him against a team that wants to play physical, that's a major hit. The silver lining is that rookie Yahya Black has shown promise, and now he gets a real chance to show whether he's ready for starting caliber reps. But fortunately, it wasn't all doom. Tomlin said the team is actually optimistic about a few important returns, and one name stood out immediately: Aaron Rodgers. After missing the Bears game with that wrist injury, he's got better than 50% odds to play this week. If he suits up, the offense can finally open the playbook again instead of tiptoeing around the limitations of a backup. Same goes for Alex Highsmith, who's been on the shelf the last couple weeks. And if there's ever a matchup where you need a high motor edge rusher, it's against the Bills. Josh Allen runs like a tight end and shrugs off arm tackles like they're suggestions. Highsmith coming back would be huge for containing him. But Tomlin didn't stop there. He also said Joey Porter Jr., DK Metcalf, and Ben Skowronek are all questionable, and that's scary. Porter Jr. is your top corner. DK is your most explosive receiver. Skowronek is a big piece in the run game. Losing even one of those guys would hurt. Losing multiple could be devastating, so the Steelers enter this massive AFC battle shorthanded, bruised, and under pressure, but still with a chance. One game, one win, and suddenly the playoff picture looks completely different. Man, it's crazy how fast this season flipped. Coaching rumors, injuries, pressure everywhere, and now it's do or die time. But I want to know, do you still believe this team can turn it around? Subscribe so you don't miss what happens next.